Boomers, Gen X. Folks from these generations are approaching the endgame, the last level of the heavily sought after American dream, retirement. While some are riding off into the sunset with their Social Securities, 401ks, and the monthly checks coming from the 15 apartment complexes that they inherited, many are left wondering, looking around, thinking to themselves, where all those years of hard work went? And even more importantly, where did all the money go? The idea of retirement seems to be an old concept nowadays, something that only the rich can afford and fools still dream about. Well, today we're going to get into this ever-growing problem and hear some stories from older folks. It should be fun, or demoralizing. Either way, if you relate to anything in this video or you just simply like content like this, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to see my daily uploads around here. Now let's begin.
Boomers are a lot more likely to stay in their home. They're gonna stay there until they have no other option for the most part. The generation before them were all about retirement communities, but not this one. And that's why you're seeing such a shift in construction for 55 plus communities and making it so that you can really age in place. It's very interesting. They don't ever want to go to a community. They want to stay in their house forever.
Baby boomers.
Alright, so kind of a weird start to this video, being that I know we're talking about how boomers just don't want to quit working and they're just never going to retire. Most of them don't really have a choice or option to anymore these days, let's be really honest. But she's talking about how the majority of older folks in Generation X, boomers, they own the majority of the housing market. And they're not moving out. They're not, back in like a couple decades ago, people would move out to like an elderly folks' home, a retirement home, whatever you want to call it. I think, or like whatever nice special twist jazz you're trying to spin on it, it's just a retirement home. And I understand that a lot of people, when they get to these elderly ages, they need some sort of assistance, they need some sort of special care. So it's nice, and it's also some source of employment to people who are in those types of fields. But at the same time, it's kind of being aged out. I don't think if people are healthy enough, nobody really chooses to go to those types of homes unless they have no family, no friends, and they want to be around people sort of like their age. Then maybe that could be the case, but I think that's kind of being aged out. But it is also kind of into the topic, sort of related to today's video, being in today's medical fields, people are a lot more healthy. People are living a lot longer. They're not really dying as soon, which is meaning that most of them just don't want to stop working. Being that they grew up in that older generation, they're taught to work hard, and even though they don't see these days, this doesn't really go as far. It's kind of what they're accustomed to.
Report that they are not going to retire. They actually want to go to work. They enjoy being there in a physical location, unlike others who would love to work remote. And that's why you're going to see it being more difficult for Gen X and millennials to move up within the organization, because you can't move up if baby boomers are at the top and they're not moving out.
And that's how a lot of these companies and a lot of these different positions work, is that you have to be in that position or in that job for a few decades. And if somebody's been in there for 40, 50 years, how is someone who just got out of college or has only been working in the job for, let's say, even 10 to 15 years, they're not going to really compare. I mean, it's just not fair. Now, you do see many people these days just being able to jump ship onto something already pretty higher up, being that they have some sort of college degree or they have some sort of family member that is already in the ins, But at the same time, there's some more videos here saying that baby boomers don't want to stop working. Even if they had the choice to retire, they're not raised that way. They're hard workers. They're boots in the dirt. The soil is raw, and they want to go crazy.
Retirement. What do I think of retirement? Why would you stop doing something you love doing? I mean, business to me is fun. I meet fabulous people. I get to go fabulous places and go to fabulous restaurants and stay in fabulous hotels, all because of my business. I can't think of a reason why I would quit doing that. If retirement means I'm not going to get to do that anymore, I don't want to retire. Why should I? Well, I'm 85 and I plan on living to 120, and I intend to work every single day. So love what you do and do what you love.
All right, what job? What job does Papa have? Seems like Grandpa over here has the job of the century. Can we just say, he said he never wants to stop working. This dude right here, he said he's going to live till 120. You're never getting that higher a position. You think you're owning his house? It's going to his kids once they're 70. That's when his kids are going to get it. Crazy work. But yeah, this is not just a singular mindset. A lot of people feel this way who are in this generation, and it really goes to show that, well, it's not that people don't want to work. It's that people don't have a choice. It's also crazy. Well, they have a choice, but it's like a saying that I played in a video the other day that I made, talking about if the system's already rigged against you, if you already don't have much of a fair play in the game, why would you play in the game at all, let alone try very hard? Now, to each their own. Some people have the mindset you can get it no matter what, but it seems like it's getting harder and harder, and there's less. There's so many jobs. There's so many people in the workforce right now, so it's kind of back and forth. And something that I do want to touch on, that I sorry I've been pausing this for so long, it's that young folk saying our young folk, Gen Z, are complaining that older people, boomers, don't want to stop working and that they just won't retire. That's what this video is about. Now, older folks, Gen X and boomers, are saying that young folk, Gen Z, they just don't want to work. It's a back and forth. It's a back and forth thing. Come on, guys.
What you love.
Just saw a video, couldn't stitch it, of a career coach explaining that boomers want to keep working, and like during the pandemic, a lot of them sat at home and were sad and realized that they wanted to keep working. I think there might be a cultural gap in what we think retirement is between like boomers and everybody else, because my dad, who is older than his dad was when he retired, and who is on the very tail end of the boomers, doesn't want to retire because he thinks retiring is just sitting around. He doesn't want to just sit around. And I was like, no, you can do whatever you want. You can, do art. You can build stuff. He likes to build stuff. You could read. He doesn't like to read. I don't know. You can do whatever you want. The point is that like the fruits of your labors are now entirely going to things that you want to be doing, and that's amazing. That's something everybody should want. But he told me that's not retirement. That's work. And I was like, excuse me? And he said that's work if you're still like building stuff or working on projects or something like that. You're still working. Like some people are rich enough that they can kind of do it at home for themselves and do what they want to do, but that's still work. You're not retired. He can't like imagine what he would want to do in retirement, and so therefore retirement is just sitting there. That's nuts. That's wild. That's especially wild because my grandfather specifically, he planned his retirement so that he could paint. He was a farmer and he wanted to paint, and he planned his retirement so that he could paint. Is it just my dad who reviews retirement as the encapsulation of laziness, or do all boomers lack some kind of creativity necessary to imagine what you would be doing with your time if your time and your labor and your energy were all your own?
All right, that's the thing. Young folks are mad. They said, you guys, you older folks, you boomers, you have the choice to retire. A thing that many of us young folks, myself included, I'm currently 25, so I'm peak Gen Z, I feel like I'll never have the even choice to retire, let alone the chance. And that goes into this next video, is that guy before this who's talking about, oh, I want to work till I'm 120. I want to work every single day. I want my hands in the he was saying that, most people don't love their job. Most people only work because they have to. And they continue working because they have no other choice, because the savings like depletes. They didn't invest in the right things, or they did and they were the wrong things, and the inflation's eating up whatever they have left. They did end up going towards. And even if you have a good chunk of money, it doesn't really stretch as far as you could actually imagine. And this whole Social Security thing, something that a lot of older people are living off of, that I mentioned in the intro, it might not even be around for as long as we think. And they keep upping the limit, saying first it was 65, then now it's going to 70, then it's going to go to 75. And at what point is it even worth it if you're going to die before you even get your money? Are people really going to opt into the system if it's not even a good option for them?
The greatest programs we have in our country is Social Security. Social Security takes care of about 65 million Americans. And what the numbers are telling us is by 2035, we won't be able to make all those Social Security payments. Wouldn't it be great if we had some presidential candidates who actually talked about this problem and what the solutions
Today
were?
I'm asking
Funny enough, it's because all those people that are actually in the positions to make a difference they're actually all the ages that they should be worrying about this problem, because people in their generation are the ones dealing with this crisis or this modern day issue. And all the people that are in those chairs and in those seats, they have more than enough money to even have to worry about this type of thing. They're not living off Social Security. If anything, they've never even thought about it. They're living off interest of the money that they already have in their bank accounts. So now we're going to hear about some of those rich folks, Warren Buffett and his buddy Charlie Munger, I'm pretty sure is his name. They're going to talk about their opinion on Social Security and what they think it's really about.
your opinion on Social Security. Shall we call it the government-sponsored Ponzi scheme for retirees? I am interested in your views on private accounts, age adjustments for retirees, and tax adjustments for the employees. What would you promote if you were in the Oval Office? Thank you.
Yeah, the Social Security was introduced in the 36 or 37. It was proposed, of course, as insurance because basically that was the only way Roosevelt could get it passed. The idea of transfer payments would not have washed in the 30s, certainly. It wasn't insurance at all. I basically believe that anything that would take Social Security payments below their present guaranteed level is a mistake.
Baby boomers born...
Now, I feel like he probably actually feels that way. Some people would say, oh, he just has to feel that way because it's just the most popular opinion, but I think that makes a lot of sense. But now we're gonna go on. Now we're gonna get into some stats, into some statistics, some knowledge, education. Let this modern day professor of the internet tell us what he probably figured out on Google.
From 46 to 64 make up 28% of the population. Check it out. 45% of boomers report having no savings.
That's almost half.
For retirement at all. I want you to think about that. Almost every other boomer, my parents included, have nothing for retirement. 68% of baby boomers expect to retire long after the age of 65, or they never plan on retiring at all. Why? Check this one out. Baby boomers are currently the wealthiest generation. As in, our millennial generation at the same age has literally a fifth of the amount of wealth that they did. Something is very wrong, and the information is just starting to come out. This is heartbreaking.
One of the most
And that's why everybody's shacking up and getting in with their parents, guys. People are adopting the foreign intelligence of living with their folks till they're 25. Moving out at 18 is going to be a thing of the past, I guess, guys. And it's not because people want to. It's because people have to. It's going to be actually a flex to move out. I mean, it kind of always was, but now it's going to be like a real flex. It's actually like unaffordable. Like you must have something going for you. Or you're doing something like illegal on the side or something.
Statistics out there in the baby boomer market is on average 70 to 80% of a baby boomer's net worth is tied up in the value of their business. So one of the reasons why boomers own their businesses for such a long time is they can't come out of their businesses because their retirement pot is actually locked up inside of their businesses. The average retirement fund of a baby boomer business owner in the United States is only $202,000 according to the Exit Planning Institute.
That's the thing. You know, a lot of these older folks, they do run a lot of businesses. That's why a lot of these like we were saying before, the top higher up execs, all those executives, all the ones that come in and do a walk around of your store like once or twice a month and then act like they own the place and tell you to move things around and actually file up and write up the certain plans for the store even though they never actually stepped a foot in the actual location before. All those people that just sit at desks, they get paid the big bucks and they are not budget, you know, because that's where most of their money's tied up in. And it could be their 401ks. It could be the fact that the longer they work, the higher their savings going to be because since they've been doing it for so long, every year really probably pays quite a bit in the dividends now. But it's not just the U.S. that's dealing with these problems, guys. This is an Aussie woman over in Australia, and she is forced to work until she probably croaks because people can't. It's wage slavery. We are working till we die, folks. And if you better like your job. And now, some of you guys, a lot of people are going to say, well, just work a place that you like, Josh. If you don't like working, work a place that you can stand and you like. If only it was that easy.
Past the age of retirement, and she's still working.
Di, this is what you should be doing.
Yes.
Sitting outside having a cup of tea,
Yes.
enjoying your retirement.
But there's no stopping Di.
Hello, girls. Hi, Di.
Today is Di's first day back on the job after shoulder surgery kept her on the sidelines for 6 weeks.
Her body is aching, okay? She's working herself to death. And she said, man, I'm getting back from surgery. That probably happens way too often because I work way too much. I shouldn't be working at this old age. And she is now going to tell the real reason why she's sad that she wasn't able to be there.
She's missed it, and they've missed her.
Welcome back, Di.
Thank you.
So good to have you back.
But she's also missed her income.
Is there lots of work?
And that's what keeps her coming back to her computer as she edges closer to her 80th birthday.
Why haven't you retired yet, Di?
Because I can't afford to. I mean, my wages are $1,100 a fortnight. That's what I take home. I get $700 odd part pension from Centrelink, but my rent's cut. That wipes out my rent. So I'm really living on the 1100.
After paying for health insurance, car insurance, groceries and power bills, there's not much left.
I always say that I'd like to work because I want to, not because I have to.
Wouldn't that be nice? And that's not just this lady's thoughts, that's the thoughts of a lot of folks in various different generations. And I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts, opinions below. You guys are always super supportive, and leave your opinions down below in the comments. You guys always do so. It's just crazy to think that, even when I was growing up, I thought that retiring might be a thing. I thought maybe Social Security, maybe something like that. I never really thought maybe I could one day work at one specific job for, let's say, 20 to 40 years. It seems that there are actual studies out there where if you hop jobs, if you jump around, you can get higher pay raises and stuff. But I don't know, guys. It just seems like, what's the right way to do it? What do you guys think is the right way to do it? Is it to stay at a job for 50 years and then potentially hope to retire? Or is it to jump around job to job to job, hoping that you can land something higher and better? Also, is this even going to be possible living on the modern day pay wage throughout the country in these next couple of generations? I mean, we're thinking about years, but imagine the next couple decades. That's where it gets spooky and kind of freaky. But let's not go too dark here today. I do love and appreciate all your guys' support on here. And if you guys have any thoughts or any of you guys relate to anything in this video, feel free to comment below. And sometimes I do show some of the comments in the videos, but once the videos get a little bit longer, I try to cut it a little bit short here. But yeah, feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you like content like this, and I will see you in the next one.